Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
I'm going to put the word out. All right, the recruiting bonanza is almost underway. Let's get everyone into the chat. This is Chris from GM Games. S23 recruiting bonanza. What's up, T-Boyd? Good to have you. Let's see how many viewers we can get. I think last year we got up to about 25, 30 live viewers. This is going to be a good one. Yeah, beer is something I need. I haven't gotten hooked up with that yet. That's probably a good idea. All right, we're going to get started pretty soon. Nice. Everyone's got the right situation for this. Everyone can hear my mic okay for my announcements on this stuff, right? I am going to put out an update to Twitter. And then we're going to get cracking here. All right, almost. This is the recruiting bonanza, we call it. I don't know of any other good names. Some other, recruitapalooza, whatever you want to call that, this kind of night. All right, we're going to get started pretty soon. I'm almost done doing my updates. All right, so let's see who's in the chat. We got Coffee in the chat, T-Boyd, we got Graham, we got Blank. Any other shout outs I'll give out tonight to people? Hopefully everyone knows where the link is so they can get started here. So it's going to be from 125 high-level prospects. I'm not going to wait too long on each of the people near the bottom of that pile. But we're going to roll through a little faster on the bottom end. Starting to get the hang of this. This is the third time around, so we should be all right. But I'm going to get started actually pretty soon. There's 12 people in the chat. Some people have said hi, some have not. But we're going to get started on this 2023 Recruit Bonanza. It's going to take a while. Anyway, my name is Chris. I'm the commissioner of the CBGM. It's amazing to see 125 teams submit, have active teams that put through all their choices. So this is something really unique. This game is a lot different on multiplayer than solo player because of this stuff. But the biggest thing about this league that I think is really important is this idea of transparency and seeing that I'm on the current date of September 11th. When we advance the game, obviously there's like no shenanigans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press advance. What I do is I try to cover my eyes just not to see the first wave of recruits, and then we go backwards in the short list. So yeah, that's how this thing's going to handle. And we're going to get started. This is going to be the turnover to the next day right now. So with that in mind, let's get this thing started. September 11th. Commissioner is advancing the league, and here we go. We got Chuck in the chat. We got Desired from Australia making it Australian. And let's hope the game doesn't crash. Otherwise, I got to do this all over again. But no, fair enough. This game's been pretty stable ever since the first few patches that we got. So always looking for new things to come up with this game. It's been it's one of my favorite games by far. If anyone doesn't know what the hell this is the college basketball general manager. And okay, we're on a scheduling day. So what I do now, because this happens, I go to a coach. Usually Cards gives me permission. He didn't say no this time, but I'm going to go into his coach. We see some of the top 10s. I'm going to blank this screen out so nobody's going to get any sort of trick, or at least like a glimpse of what the outcome was. And then we're going to go through the list. All right. So with that in mind, I'm going to darken this back to the wallpaper so no one sees the first little bit. I'm going to get into a recruiting screen. I'm trying to like cover my own eyes. I don't want to see anything that spoils my excitement too. And the most important thing is that I can click on the first recruit name. My hands are in front of my eyes. I just see the name. I clicked it, and I did see a team color of number 1, but that's all good. Orville Schwartz is not known as the be-all, end-all, but it looks like it's going to be an interesting night. So with that in mind, we're on 125, and I'm going to turn this back on. So with everyone, this is the first decision made. This is the St. John's Red Storm. Picking up a player, Robinson Schuler, at the 125 spot. He's off to St. John's, and Vinny. So Vin Calia breaks the ice tonight. Next. Mario Zhu, undecided, from New York, from the Atlantic region. Boston College is the top heat right now for this guy. Not a lot of energy going for this player, but has some pretty good ratings, it looked like. All right, 123. Jashawn Gentile. He's a center out of North Carolina. He's undecided. TCU and Providence in on him. Not too many human players. He's definitely been ignored. All right, next. Jeremy Heath. St. John's in on this kind of player around the same range. He's from the I think southeast for North Carolina, or that might be Atlantic actually. But yeah, he's undetermined at 122. All right, next, and a sip of beer as well. All right, we have a signing here. James Resendez goes to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a new owner, and this is one of the first signings right now. First ever signing for that new owner at Oklahoma. All right, next. Maj Lavoie, undecided at 120, small forward, Michigan. That's where he's from. Undecided. We'll keep this one moving. Fraser Ripley, power forward from Wisconsin, has not signed yet. No information with the coach I'm using right now on that. Next, Nelson Morgan, Iowa. We have a verbal commit. That's to Iowa in the Big Ten. And that's, I'm trying to remember, English 004 or whatever. That's the name. This is his guy. He's now landed someone at Iowa in the Big Ten lands, Nelson Morgan. All right, carrying on. We got Sanford Townsend. So Pelvic Wu gets his team in, his export in just before the deadline at 8 o'clock, and ends up snagging a point guard. This guy, I think he might have actually ended up in the top 5 out of the West camp, but Sanford Townsend is going to the Cal Bears tonight. All right, now moving to 116. Gerald Denson, Maryland and Boston College and Wake are fighting for this guy. Unsigned yet. He will remain for another day. But Gerald Denson is thinking between Maryland, Boston College, and Wake. All right, next one up. 115, Cal strikes again. So Pants with Lasers, sounds like Pelvic's in the chat. Michael Brown ends up going to Cal. A couple of recruits this year. They're getting restocked from the West. A verbal commitment to California. All right. Auburn's on the board. Sylvester Colwell. A guy that I was quite interested with South Alabama. Auburn knew about him. Looks like a few teams did. Florida State all over this guy. But he's going to end up at Auburn and going with Coolest Jedi. And he gets a signing. He'll be happy about that. Sometimes thinks he doesn't get the benefit of the recruits, but it worked out this time. But South Alabama loses out on a recruit because that's the narrative everyone cares about, right? Okay, next. Jamal Weber. Nothing. Don't even know a thing about this guy. 113, unsigned. All right. Blakely, same idea. 112, unsigned. Xavier Ellis goes to Nebraska. So Nebraska, this is Obi Surf. He just gets his new team. He left. He's with he's got San Diego as well, but Nebraska is one of his new team that he's with. Gets a center, Xavier Ellis. It's going to the Cornhuskers. So Obi Surf, I don't think he gets on this Twitch live chat, but he maybe he saw it, maybe he didn't. But someone let him know in the chat if he's not paying attention to this one. Auburn strikes again. Alessandro Lee from Hazard, Kentucky. Mississippi State was second on that, but Auburn's got their second player now. And Louisville looked like they finished in third. I'm not sure if the offer went out, but Alessandro Lee's going to the Coolest Jedi as well. All right, next up, Victor Kelso, unsigned, 109. Nothing much there. Diedrich Grabowski, 108, unsigned. Nothing much there. Lewis Slocum, South Carolina, Miami, Mississippi is the last top three right now. He's unsigned. It looks like he has some decent stats, scouting, but he's unsigned at the moment. Kenny Morrell, VTech, so Virginia Tech, and this is a signing with Tyler. Tyler gets his player. He's interested in Kenny Morrell, and he gets a small forward out of Rhode Island. So congratulations to Tyler on that. Next up, 105, Sonny Molina, Ohio State, small forward. He's going to the Buckeyes. That's Rizzo. Sonny Molina is a signing. The 105 recruit is going to Ohio State. All right. Next after that, Ruben Kimball, point guard. Looks like Seton Hall was kind of in on him. Not a big list there, very quiet. Western Kentucky, Mex State. He's unsigned at 104. Jamar Green, VCU, Providence. Old Dominion kind of in on him, but he's unsigned, 103 right now. And he's from Maryland. Srijan Bojicevic. That was my best attempt at that. 102, unsigned international recruit. Who knows who's in after this fire crotch redhead. But he's available. Leslie Martinez, point guard. Memphis is on him. That's AI now. Clemson is also AI now. They're looking for Leslie Martinez, point guard out of Mississippi. 101 is still available. We got Big Ev adding the follow. Thank you so much, Big Ev. You're going to be in the league soon enough, my friend. At the moment, we're just going to wrap this one up, this recruiting, and we'll get you involved as soon as possible. Jason Monahan, or however the hell you pronounce that, 100 unsigned right now. Let's get into the top 100. Here we go. We got Sheldon Ballard unsigned at 99. No information there. Oklahoma. Really nothing. Hooker, Oklahoma. And he's unsigned. All right, so here we go. Shaquille Acuna from Houston. And he is going to Brocky. This is like a test for me to remember everyone's teams. But Shaquille Acuna is going to Houston at small forward from Great Plains region. All right, next up. Jerome Spalding, Blink, has landed a player. point guard. Seton Hall has a long lineage of great guard players. He's going to have big shoes to fill, but they are trying to re-up with Jerome Spalding, and Blink has landed the 97 recruit. He's in. All right, next. Stuart Lawton, unsigned still, Providence, VCU, and St. John's on the trail. Troy Kennedy, unsigned, no information about him. All these players look so much better on paper than when you actually sign them, and they're terrible, but looks pretty good from here. Troy Kennedy still out there. Rainer Benelios. Man, this new name patch is really giving me a rough time. But Rainer Benelios from Louisiana is on the trail with Wake Forest, Miami, and Auburn. All right, Blaz Kankar, Slovenian international top prospect. He's unsigned right now at the 93 slot. Apolinary Nowak, point guard, 92, from Poland, unsigned at the moment. Dario Martins from Reno, Nevada. He's unsigned. Still trying to decide where he's going to go. RJ Hatfield. This is Blazer Taz. Oregon State with a signing. 2.5 GPA. This one looks like he's probably going to stick around. There's an unfortunate SAT score player for him last year. He lost a recruit that he had. But the Beavers, Pac-12, RJ Hatfield with a signing with Oregon State. Herb Davis, unsigned at 89 from Ohio. He's still out there. Kendrick Hurd, Michigan, 88. He's still out there as well. LaShawn Solano, point guard. Thaner, Missouri, 87, undecided. Moving on. Daryl Blanco from Utah, from the West, a 4-star recruit, number 86. He's unsigned, undecided still. No top 10 information to provide. Shaquille Durant. So Shaq Durant is going. He's a point guard that was pretty interesting. His camp data didn't really show that he was that great a player, but he did look like he would have been one of the better players from the Southeast. I was checking him out with South Alabama, but Shaq Durant is going to Wichita State with a 2.3 GPA, so we'll see how that works out. Ronald Hancock, he's undecided right now. He's the 84 recruit, so we'll move on from him. Marvin Almanza, 83, undecided, no information available, from Hawaii. Gonna keep moving on here. Sherwin Mahan, he's undecided, but he's got Mississippi State and Auburn still on the trail. We're moving along now. Joseph Cano, Miami gets a signing here, so easy breezy, gets his export in. He gets a center. He gets the 81st center. The Bonnies and Ago is second in this chase, but Miami lands Joseph Cano, and so the Woodstock, Georgia product is going to the Miami Hurricanes. Next, Orlando Cruz. He is going to Oregon, so that's a power forward that looked pretty decent. I think I was into this guy as well, and so Oregon spotted him. But Orlando Cruz is going to Oregon at the number 80 overall. All right, next, BJ Blackwood, point guard from Minnesota, 79th overall, is undecided. No data available. Trayshawn Hagan, 78, undecided, still available. Let's see what else we got. Mitchell Hauser, center, 77, undecided, still available, no camp data. Samuel Stokes from Australia, shooting guard, 76th overall, still available. Roland Arnett, power forward, 75, still available. So we're getting into the top 75. We just rolled through about 50 players. We're continuing on here. Chester Vest, that's a good name. Maryland on the trail. He's unsigned right now. Shooting guard from Virginia, undecided at this point. Jared Guillen, power forward from Anchorage, Alaska, 73. He's still undecided. Jerome Wall, point guard, Georgia. Clemson, Alabama, Memphis, Georgia Tech on the trail, undecided still. So we're getting almost towards top 70 here. Daryl Alonzo, this guy was being chased by a few people, 71, still undecided right now. It's going to take another day or two to see this one play out. We'll keep it rolling here. 70, Don Juan Sample, the winner of the name lottery of one of the better computer-generated names that we have. Don Juan Sample, the point guard, is going to Texas Tech. So we got Trip Lakely in the mix, getting a recruit here that has been talked about, maybe not just for his talent, but for his name. So there we go. Don Juan Sample's going to Texas Tech. Shaka Waits, he's still available right now, point guard from New Mexico, Roswell, New Mexico, 69th overall, still not signed yet. Let's check out some other ones here. Christopher Kraus, 68, unsigned right now from the West Coast. Terrible GPA. Good luck on that one, 2.2. See what else is up. Turner Crandall, unsigned. Connecticut's in on the mix. They're hot. No one else is really up there in that kind of range, except VCU and Virginia are trying. But Turner Crandall is available. He looks like he's only looking at Connecticut, but still in state. Not signed yet. So 67, undecided. John Klein, 66, undecided as well. And 65, Kelly Lindsay, center, undecided from the West in Utah. Jamie Van, Maryland lands player here. He's signing. He's given a verbal. Second on that was Tyler from Virginia Tech. VCU came third. North Carolina, I guess just because they're a nice name, but I don't think they chased this guy. But Jamie Van, point guard. They're going to need someone to replace Kurt Laney's lineage. Will Jamie Van be that player? But I think that's Coffee, right? Coffee lands Jamie Van here. Next up, Yanakis Lianis from Greece, and he is unsigned at the 63rd position. And for me, it's a little delayed. I just see someone celebrating their player as they move on, but there's still 60 more to go. 62, Bagdan Zolkin from Russia, unsigned right now. 62, no information available. Tyshawn Aldridge, Miami and Clemson on the trail, unsigned right now, undecided. And he's a 61st recruit. So we're into the top 60 now. We got Christopher Long, a center from Utah. He's not signed yet. No information on him here with this coach. So Christopher Long still available. Next up, Scott Little, Rhode Island, Clemson, Providence, Connecticut on the trail with Tyler. 4 hot teams. Scott Little still undecided, has to pick between those 4. It's going to be an interesting second bid round for this guy, considering how close that chase is getting. So Scott Little still undecided in the 59th position. Belisario Burgos from Argentina, he's undecided as well at 58. Frederick Burnham, here's one of those guys who kind of is under the radar for, he's a top 5 Memphis Hoops Summit camper, but it's going to be Caleb Mueller getting this guy. Miami's going to finish second. Florida is going to finish third, but Frederick Burnham is going to be going to LSU. All right, next up, Rick Stafford, point guard. Providence, Seton Hall's in there. Blinks on number 2. We got Locust in on this. The Pangrazio fan club. He's number 3rd on this. He's 3rd on this guy. So Rick Stafford is in demand. You got the Friars at number 1. Georgetown's kind of sneaking in around the number 5, but the 56th recruit, Rick Stafford, is still available at the moment. Russ Allen, UNLV. So LSU Tiger Josh beats out Utah for this guy. Memphis comes third. Russ Allen from New Hampshire. This is an interesting play. He's going across the country to sign with UNLV, so not regional in this case, but wants UNLV. Albert Underwood, Australia, unsigned right now at the 54th position. We'll keep it moving into the top 50. Van Miner, shooting guard, unsigned, North Carolina State, Virginia Tech, number 2. And we're into almost the top 50 now. Rodney Michaud is being chased by Florida State, Mississippi State Bulldogs. Arkansas is there. That's Tyler Pipp. Clemson, I think, is the AI. South Carolina is the AI. He is unsigned at the moment. Atu Polyanen is unsigned from Finland, 51, and we're into the top 50 right after this. Kendrick Stoner, Baylor is signing anyone they like usually, but number 50 is going to Lloyd Boston. Kendrick Stoner at the 50 spot from Grove, Oklahoma is going to Baylor. Let's get into 49. Daquan Stark, Virginia. LSU Josh beats out AI Pittsburgh, AI Davidson to land Daquan Stark. From Salamanca, New York. He's the 49th player, but he's going to Virginia. Liddell Duffy, unsigned. We got Tennessee and Clemson on the trail. Shooting guard number 48 still out there. Next, Daryl Downing goes to San Diego State. We'll take that one. Here's a guy that I have no idea how good it'll be. I'm happy that I got a guy to cheer about. It's nice to have a personal vested interest here. But Daryl Downing from the West is coming to the Aztecs. So shoot some arrows. And Daryl Downing is going to be joining us in San Diego State. All right, next. Ben O'Toole from Temple. Temple goes, this is an AI team, I think. Providence, South Carolina. And we got Ben O'Toole in that second spot. I think Warlord, if you're Oklahoma, I forget which team he took actually in the end. But yeah, maybe you're not, sorry. But anyways, welcome to the chat. We're at the 46th position, keeping it rolling here. After this, 45. Isaiah Velasco. This guy is a very good player. Camp data told a different story about how well this guy plays. He was actually, what am I saying? He's the MVP at the Big Apple. Plus, he was outside of the top 25. So the value of this player to be around for 4 years is awesome. So Seton Hall has landed a player, a core piece. Isaiah Velasco is going to Seton Hall, the Pirates. Way bigger than the last signing. This is huge. So that's huge for Blaine. All right, next. Antoine Casper. Now the heavyweights from the West came to flex some muscle. This is the West MVP. Cards here lets me use this account, but this coach just to go through. There's a bit more top 10s usually. But Antoine Casper was the MVP of the West. I think it could have gone to a lot of different places, but in the end, he chose the Pac-12 powerhouse, and so they swipe and take the top player from the West camp. Jonathan McCombs, he's going to Illinois. The center's arriving at 3.6 GPA, beats out Notre Dame, Duke, and Built. So for the other schools out there with high GPA, Jonathan McCombs is going to Coolest Jedi. So Illinois doesn't get shut out always. Proof tonight that it's possible to get some players in Illinois for the Illini. All right, next up. 42, J.J. Horner, unsigned. So he's sticking around, no decisions yet. If someone in the chat could tell me officially what Jojo Crowell's number is, so that before I get to it, I really kind of like hype up the number. All right, because it's really easy to pass a guy's like 7-8 by accident. So if someone in the chat could say what Jojo Crowell is before I get there. All right, next up, Jacob Taylor, Australian international. He's unsigned right now, undecided. Top prospects is here, but 41 is undetermined. Kershawn Carballo, he's unsigned right now. Clemson, Mississippi State's on the trail. Notre Dame, he kind of likes. Tucky kind of likes. End of the day, he's probably going to an AI team here. All right, next up, Jamal Rocca. He's going to Xavier. He's going to join a Catwall. This team is in transition right now. 2.3 GPA. It's going to be a question if this guy, his SAT is going to do well enough to get in. But at the moment, he's going to Xavier. And he's off the map right now. All right, into the top 40. 38, Gilbert Rodriguez, national overall, none signed. So let's get into number 37. Jose, I can't pronounce that, like Catalan. No, it's Brazil. It's Portuguese kind of Pixoto. Jose Pixoto from Brazil is unsigned, 37 overall. Now we're getting to 36. Lester Mickelson's going to Tennessee. The center signs with Tennessee here. Memphis was second. So Ago, whichever you prefer, is the signing here of Lester Mickelson. All right, next up we have Terrell Wright, and he's undecided right now. He's the 35th overall. And we're getting closer and closer to the top 25 here. Vinny Montero, New York. Memphis is all over this guy's trail here. He's unsigned right now, 2.2 GPA. And he's not signed right now. He looks perfect for this team over here. This team just loves those 2.2 GPA players. Just coming to make friends. But Vinny Montero is unsigned right now. Elad Berliner from Israel is unsigned right now at 33. We're getting into the top 30 shortly. Let's see what else is up. John Williams. Here's a name that was in pursuit. This is a good signing here. He looked like he had a lot of skill. His GPA is another questionable one. We'll see what that SAT score turns out to be. But he's going to Purdue right now. He has talent. So don't question this guy's abilities. MacArthur Vital, Dick Vitale, MacArthur Vital, point guard's going to Indiana. So we have a new Indiana owner, AK777. I think he might be on this chat. I don't know what your name is on Twitch, but congratulations. Indiana is starting to land some players and run this program. All right, next up, Florian Bryant. Now, here's the thing I want to talk about with this signing here is Florian Bryant joins another early signing in LeVar Booth. So now Florida was hot and first on a lot of players early on this. I have a theory that I think Florida might be tapped out pretty soon. It's very hard to sweep the board of a top 25 game that's trying to distribute some of the talent around. But Florian Bryant at number 30 is off, though, to Florida. So for the moment, they have two really, really good big men. Well, let's see as we move through this list. Cordell Goldstein. He's unsigned. He's a great player. This will be a good signing if North Carolina State can hang in that top position. Georgetown's on the trail. Ohio State smells him. But Locust is really pushing hard for this guy. It's pretty local to them. 4.0 GPA is quite remarkable too. But this would be a great signing for Locust. He tries hard with his team, and Pangrazio and all them. He'll be a nice add-on. Cordell Hatch. This guy's good as well. It looks like there's a lot of these guys that were around the top 25 range were pretty good. Cordell Hatch goes to Yukon, and that is Cav BK. And he lands a great guard here. Michigan looks like they finished second in this chase. North Carolina State looks like they finished in third position. So Cav lands Cordell Hatch. He went in on this guy and he landed him. Again, if you guys can remind me in the chat where JoJo Crowell is, please. Ward Parnell goes to Flexen Texans, and they asserted themselves, chose from the top in the camp, brought their prestige with them, and this is a player that will help Vin Calia. Vin is going to be landing a player that was pursued by a lot of teams here, and so he's showing that he is still a powerhouse in the Great Plains region, and so Ward Parnell is going to the Texas Longhorns. All right, into 26th. Leonardo Hirschberger goes to Maryland. And so Leonardo Hirschberger beats out the AI at West Virginia and Pitt. And we're into the top 25 right after this one. So looks like he's a JUCO. And he is going on his way to Maryland. Okay, JoJo Crowell is number 5. That's good to know. Thanks, Agilia. Maxwell Samuels. Well, if everyone shot their shot at this guy, Kansas looks like they're taking their player that they want. They've left region. They've now left on, dipping into the pool from Louisiana. Kansas is leaving the area. Look at this chase. By the end of it, who were the guys that went after him? A lot of teams. We had North Carolina, Villanova, Florida coming forth. So there you go, where Florida is not a factor. 2 other big names already in Booth and Bryant, which means some of these teams that aren't signed yet might be in on this. Some of these other top 25 players. Turner Fontaine, Zags are interested. Kansas is interested. Syracuse is interested. 2.4 GPA, unsigned right now. Turner Fontaine is going to be sticking around a little while to see what happens. All right, into 23rd position. Emmett Dunning, Tennessee, another big signing from Ago. This one will definitely help his roster. I think he got a big as well, so it's balancing out. We got Memphis, number 2. Louisville and Dame were both kind of, looks like they were kind of circling the wagon there a little bit. But they come 3rd and 4th on this chase. Emmett Dunning is going to Tennessee. And we're into the 22 position. It is Pete Mello, one of the better names as well, going to Syracuse at point guard. So Pete Mello is signing with Brandon, and Syracuse lands a player in the ACC. They need to do a rebuild there. So their name needs to come up a little bit more, but Pete Mello is off the market. He's signed with Syracuse. Next up, LeBron Gonzalez ends up with Louisville. So I have to say, I did go after LeBron, and at the end of it, he didn't even go warm with me. Shot my shot. I think I took one that was kind of odd in this position, but for this guy's skill, I had to go for it. Interesting that came in second, 2 AI teams, and not much chance to beat Cards here. But Cards lands LeBron Gonzalez, and yeah, that was kind of a waste of a bid for me. Georgia Southern finishes 10th. So Georgia Southern, something to be proud of, consolation prize, 10th place. All right, next up, John Wetzel, no information, unsigned, 20 overall, still in the game. All right, into the top 20 now. Here's the next one. Andrew Robinson, he's still hanging out there. Louisville, Kentucky are its 2 favorite spots. LSU, West Virginia, and Zags are chasing Andrew Robinson hard. And at the moment, he's unsigned. So now into the top 18. Lou Reyes goes to Tenney, another gem. This guy has been chased by Agalia, chased by Chris Beard, the AI from West Virginia, Zags, Memphis, and Tenney. looking like they have the best recruiting class this year. But they're locking up some studs and beating out some of the other talent. What this means, though, is it does have, I think, a domino effect. If this is happening early, there's a good chance Notre Dame has already landed a player like a Milton Thompson, kind of balancing out the roster. That's the way I look at this stuff now. So it's not always a bad thing to not get these guys in this range. You may have a shot at others that are a little further to come. So next up, into 17th overall, we're going to get Carrington Hanna. This guy is a good player too. So at some point, Michigan State had to remind the league that they still have some shine, some prestige to flex, and school prestige is exactly what they probably came with here. But Carrington Hanna, another great big player, is going to Michigan State. All right, number 16, we got Jared Davis, center, unsigned right now. Louisville's on the chase, or at least they really like Louisville. But then we got Pittsburgh and West Virginia, still interested. But Jared Davis still hanging around here. And what else we got? Cedric Gill, probably scares everybody off. 2.1 GPA. So Cedric Gill, though, is unsigned at the moment. And next up, Lavon Booth. This is an early signing, so no point getting hyped up there. Sorry. But yeah, going to Florida. So he joins Florian Bryant. That's their new front court. Great players, power forward, and combination with this center was just going to be a really dangerous team to play. And coming out of the SEC, most likely. But let's see what else is going on. Kentucky still is not on the board yet. I don't think Notre Dame's on the board yet, so there's a chance for some big pickups still. Dragutin Stambolic, Serbia, unsigned, 13. I'm not even sure who's really in on this guy, so if anyone had that information, that'd be kind of interesting to hear, but he is unsigned at the moment. And Booth, definitely some PTSD after seeing that historic signing again. But let's get into it. This is the number 12th overall prospect. Coming up next is Richard Tapia. Tapia, he's going to UConn. UConn beats out Virginia, Ohio State, and West Virginia. So Kev BK is going to add Richard Tapia to his lineup to go with his other big signing, Cordell Hatch. And so there's a couple of big names that are joining UConn. So they're looking to rearm already now. All right, we're into almost the top 10. Here's number 11. 11 is Stuart Simmons. So Notre Dame showing they waited to the right time. They're into the top 11 on a player. So Stuart Simmons, the small forward, is joining Agelia. And he's a good player. So nothing to be ashamed of there. He's from Farmington, Illinois, yeah. He's going to be a good player here. He scores over 20 points a game in high school. But his verbal commit is to Notre Dame. All right, next up, Gilbert Lewis, unsigned. The other GPA scary one. No one's really coming in hard on him. No one's trying much. All right, so we're into the top 10 now. Some teams, there hasn't been a great story yet. Some might still have another real outcome that would be quite large tonight. So we're going to see what happens here. We got the top 10 to go. I'm going to have a sip of my beer, and we're going to get into the number 9 spot. And just to double check, we got Crowell overall at 5. So next 5 are going to be pretty big. So let's see what's happening here. Desante Alonso to the Cincinnati Bearcats. So Cincinnati lands Desante Alonso. Again, you got to just pray that these SAT scores come through for you. 2.2 GPA. We had a couple guys at 2.1 and a 2.2 earlier, and someone's got to be able to pass that score. But Desante Alonso right now is going to the Cincinnati Bearcats. Only an SAT can really break hearts here. All right, we're going to number 9. The number 8, sorry, is Charles Fajardo. Maryland scoops this guy. So Maryland is making their presence felt. ACC, sorry, not ACC, sorry, Big Ten, getting another big name here. I think there's about 3 for Maryland tonight. So whoever they're going after is working out for them. So now, nervous time for me. I got a guy that's somewhere in this range that I've kind of been chasing. We got JoJo Crowell coming up next. We're getting to the number 7 guy. And number 7 is, Jason Ewing. And my theory is wrong. Florida has just stocked up. They just stole Christmas. They just stole Festivus. They just stole whatever holiday you want to talk about. Florida is adding to LeVar Booth. They're adding the Florian Bryant. And I called this one actually kind of early, but I didn't think it would actually go down this way. But being from Miami, Florida, it wasn't even, like, take a look at this if it shows it. Yeah, right here. Like, come on, man. Alma mater. Never even flinched. Kentucky came in hard, but that was that. But Jason Ewing is joining Florida. All right, we're going into the number 6 now. And number 6 is going to be... No! Fuck! Baylor strikes again. So I had a really tough decision to make on what I was going to do with this guy. I was number 1 with Crichton. Lloyd complains all the time, oh, Crichton taking my player. Like, I'm taking your players? Like, what is happening here? Like, this guy is now going to Baylor to join this team. But yeah, my depth is going to be tested now. I was hoping to get a replacement. Myers leaves. But LT Foster is going to Baylor. Lloyd and beats. I was sitting in the number 1 position for this guy at the time. That is not good. All right, next up is going to be the main event. This is the Indy MVP. This is JoJo Crowell. And typically Indy MVPs end up being Norton winners and, you know, finalists, top 3, whatever, top picks in the NBGM. So this next pick, if there's any predictions, feel free to put it into the chat. But LT Foster is going to Baylor. JoJo Crowell is going to choose tonight with this next choice will be Syracuse. Well, I respect that. I mean, for the point of Syracuse needing some sort of story, it's pretty incredible they chose that. I mean, if you look at it doesn't have the recruit info. I finished 6th with Crichton, Duke ahead, West Virginia ahead. I shot my shot. It didn't work out. But Syracuse is getting a big name here. So ACC is going to have a bit of a reshuffling. Pitt seems like they're going to be falling off real hard. And now we're getting into this last group here. Indy MVP is gone. So we got Boyd, Crowell. We got Boyd. We got Schwartz. We got a couple names here. So now into the number 4 spot, we're looking at Ronald Taylor going to Rizzo and Ohio State. So into the top 5, Ohio State has added a piece of talent. Baylor is asserting themselves. I'm still a little salty about that other one. Don't know what my next move is going to be, but Ronald Taylor is going to Ohio State and beats out Pittsburgh, West Virginia. Nova was in on them. Syracuse was in on them, but it's a big night for Syracuse tonight. This is a big signing for Ohio State. Big night for Florida. Big night for Tennessee. Let's see who's next. Milton Thompson goes to Michigan. So don't just count out Rizzo and his one of his best friends from signing as well. Coach Fury, his buddy, gets Milton Thompson in the end. And this is a big name here, considering the fact that Michigan just missed out on the Indy MVP last year, and Richard Samuel. There's some really interesting stuff going on with this multiplayer, but man, Baylor is either getting super lucky or they just have way too much prestige going on or something. But Milton Thompson, though, is going to Michigan. 33.5 points a game. This guy's a pure scorer. I don't see what it ended up being at the very end here. So everyone's just going to have to take a look on their own. But it's going to be Milton Thompson going to Michigan. All right. Next up, Archibald Boyd. Oh, unsigned. So this guy's about to get about 10,000 in visits in a sec. From everybody who's left, who hasn't signed somebody. This guy's undecided at the moment. Archibald Boyd is about to get a whole bunch of calls. And we're down to the last guy, but thanks everyone for coming to the stream tonight. Number 1 position, UCLA, Pac-12. Here's another interesting signing. Orville Schwartz. Schwartz is going to the West Coast. He's from Alaska. And UCLA ends up getting the number 1 overall on paper recruit. And 29.7 points per game. Hustlin' Owl shot his shot at number 1, and he lands. So if everyone just ignored the number 1 overall recruit, Orville Schwartz is going to UCLA. So thanks everyone for coming out tonight. That was about 1 hour of streaming. The Bonanza, you can go take a look. I'm going to need a little bit to update the save file, so don't do anything yet. But thanks again for coming out. It is what it is. SEC struck big time, and we had some mysteries show up, and Syracuse adds a big name. Michigan adds a big name. So we got some reshuffling of schools, and it's healthy for the league. But thanks again, everyone, for coming out. And I'm going to get new coaches added, and this will probably be up again, or recruiting. Bonanza will probably show up in less than 2 months' time. So, all right, thanks everybody, and I hope you all have a great night. Thank you.